God, I wish I had more money. I wish I had a fucking job. Well, we tried that. Ended up well over 1,500 resumes. Like, over a period of like 5 or 6 years. Since I was 17. Up until like, I think the start of last year. But even in COVID, during the pandemic when everyone was hiring, because everyone was too scared to leave the house, I handed out resumes to supermarkets and stuff where I thought I could be valuable, but not many people want to hire someone with no expertise in anything. Because, I haven't got any like certificates from college or anything because my disabilities held me back so much back then. Things are a lot better for me now, but people just don't want to give me a chance. There's been a few training places that have given me a chance, but after a while I've lost interest. There was one I did for like 2.5 years, hospitality, but after a while it started triggering my anger a bit whenever I'd get frustrated or something would go wrong, and I'd start getting really angry and down and anxious. And I spent like a good half a year, but a good 6 months trying to find a way around it. But every time a member, because the kitchen was pretty small, and I guess it always is pretty busy, but every time like a member would come close, I would just feel really angry and stressed and anxious. And like I wanted to push them out of the way. And it was just feeling really unhealthy for me. So I talked to some of the staff about it, and we just kept talking about it for a month or two, trying to figure out what the best way to deal with it was. I talked about it with my psychologist and stuff, and eventually I had lost interest in hospitality by that point, so I gave it a few more tries, but I decided to end it. And before that, I was going to TAFE, which weren't really trained in dealing with people with disabilities. The training place I was at was, but yeah. I was in TAFE for about a month and a half, but I lost a lot of interest in that type of cooking, for the kitchen operations too, and I kept mucking up the meals and stuff. Not on purpose, of course. I was trying my best, but I was just anxious all the time and stuff. The teachers took me aside and had a chat with me, and then we tried to see what could be done about it, but unfortunately there wasn't much to be done. The only time I've had work experience where I've been fully relaxed, or 2 times really, was once when I did a full week, like 9 AM to 3 PM, full week, Saturday to Sunday, one entire week, for work experience during year 10. I was at a wildlife park, just cleaning kangaroo poo pretty much out of the pens, cleaning food bowls and stuff, and that was calming because I was around the animals. And although back then I didn't have such anxiety, I did have mood problems, but and some mild depression, I would say. But when I was there, I was happy. And then again, when I was doing some work experience once a week at a supermarket, mostly just stacking shelves during college as part of a college course. It was a nice time. But I was there with other classmates and like chatting with them while we did tasks and stuff. I feel like actually working in a supermarket would be a lot more stressful than what we were doing. I am blabbing on today. But yeah, it was nice. But unfortunately in my city, there isn't a wildlife park or a zoo or an animal thing nearby. There is one that is named after the city, but it isn't really in the city. And it's so far away that there's not buses or anything to it either. I've looked. The closest bus goes a good 2-hour walk away from it. Which, mind you, is barely... Let's see, what would it be like? 2-hour walk, probably 15-minute drive. Not even that. No, it would be a little more. Maybe it wasn't quite 2 hours, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, driving is much faster than walking. And of course, I never learned how to drive. There's always the option for me to learn and get a rental car, because you don't really have a parking spot here because they're all big cars. Unless I reported the person who's taking up mine from my rental place, but I really don't want to do that because that's just gonna piss off a lot of... No, but I couldn't afford to even have a car. Maybe a rental in theory, but maybe that is something I should look into. Learning to drive, getting a rental car and going out to that zoo. I don't know, that sounds insane. It's an interesting idea. Yeah, I mean, what? It's a 30-minute drive from here, but it takes like forever to walk it? I don't know. I'll look into it. It probably will never happen, but it would probably be good for me to try to learn to drive. Talk to my mum about it. She's probably got a car and some area I can go where I can practice my driving skills. There's a lot there I need to think about. Maybe I could ask for some work experience first before actually getting a paid job there. Just to make sure it's the right fit for me. And then go from there. Or something I'd have to do. First I gotta learn how to drive. And I really doubt I'm gonna be any good at that. Thing is, with my tics, my tics used to be so bad that I could only ride bikes. Like, my bicycle, like, maybe 2 times a year when I wanted to, like, it was more than that, more opportunities, but, like, the days I actually felt like I had the energy and everything and, like, my tics weren't gonna hold me back. It was very rare. Maybe like 5 times a year. And when I would kind of have to channel certain tics into other tics so that I could park the bike safely without hurting myself. But one time I didn't do that. It's the last time I rid the bike. I actually almost hit a parked car. Like I was like a millimeter away from hitting it with my face. I haven't had my tics all my life though. I only started around year 6. Before that, I was quite an adamant bicycle rider. I was quite good at riding my bike. Well, except for all the times I crashed it, but... and the couple of times I fell down on gravel and bled a lot. But, I enjoyed bike riding. I'm just going on a ramble today. Just gonna... Fucking hell. I guess I needed to vent a bit. Sometimes it's good to vent a little. Potentially trying to get a job again. But I don't know. Maybe I'll try to learn to drive and see what that means. Though there is another option. I do like gardening, and there are 2 gardening places either side of town. There are also buses. I could go in there one day with a resume and see what happens. I'll have to go over my disability support pension information and make sure that work experience or a part-time job or something isn't going to impact that massively. Because if it is, I'm going to need a backup because, yeah. No way I can guarantee that I'm going to be an efficient worker 24/7 and not get fired. That was me! Damn it, now I'm distracted. No, but it's not going to work. Finding a job for me, I'm not good at communicating with people to start with. The most recent time I had an interview at this cafe. I did it myself without my job search people getting involved. I was very proud of myself for it. They called me up one day like, yeah, come in for an interview. I'm like, oh, cool. I was so hyped, but also nervous. I go in on the bus, go in, have what I thought was a good interview, and they say they're going to let me know either way if I don't get it or do. So I'm waiting there. I wait for like months, and I don't ever hear back from them. Oh, thanks for the follow, Monkey. Monkey Yeet? Yeah, seems about right. I'm kind of ranting a bit now about how much I failed at finding a job. Yeah, I never heard back from them, but it would have been a nice cafe to do some work at. And it was a training position too, like they were willing to train, so it would have been really good for me. Anyway, maybe I'll try to learn to drive and then go out to the zoo one day and see what happens. Who knows? Oh.